really goody though. It's the one and only Burnt Toast, aka Young Burger Patty. Nobody wants beef. I keep trying to tell y'all I'm around a bunch of vegetarians, man. Nobody wants beef. Now listen, man. If you didn't know, or if you did know, either one, okay, as you may or may not know, the Pokemon World Championships are going on right now, and I suggest you tune in because we're gonna get a lot of announcements as we did today, okay? Now, the crazy part about the announcements we got today is that they were strictly about competitive play. They didn't show anything new in regards to Pokemon or characters or anything like that. It was all about competitive battling, which is crazy to me because they've never done that before. And it seems like they're taking it a little more seriously this time. They've introduced things that will be great for the competitive scene. Now, Pokemon is not the most competitive game in itself just because of all the luck-based factors, but they are doing things that will make it more enjoyable to play, in my opinion. And we're going to go through that because this trailer that they showed was all about the competitive playing. I'm not going to play the trailer in the video just because whenever I do that, Pokemon claims my video, so I'm just going to show screenshots because that's really all we need. You guys can go watch the trailer yourselves. It's pretty easy to find. I'll even link it in the description for you if you're lazy and don't want to look for it yourself. It's all good. I got you, bro. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff they showed today. So the first thing they showed was absolutely insane. Okay, now I say this because in VGC, which is the standard, okay, let me explain something real quick. When I say standard, it's kind of weird, right? Pokemon, you play Pokemon and the entire game is single battles pretty much. You play like 2 or 3 double battles, maybe, tops. The entire game is single battles. When you go online to play your friends, you usually do single battles. Smogon's standard battling is also single battles. But then you play the official Pokemon format and it's double battles. And it's not just double battles, it's double battles with only 4 Pokemon and very restrictive rules, right? So it's kind of weird. I've always thought that was a weird thing because it doesn't really make sense to have the entire game be one way and then the actual competitive format be a different way. I do understand that it is primarily because you can stall for a really long time in single battles. Like you can literally stall indefinitely with some team compositions. So they do that to make it so that you can't do that and there's more pressure on you because there's 2 Pokemon instead of 1. I get it, okay? Anyways, Weezing's ability, Galarian Weezing specifically, his ability, neutralizing gas, is dumb. Now, there's an ability called Mold Breaker, which makes it that when you attack a Pokemon, you disregard their ability. So, perfect example, Excadrill has Mold Breaker, Rotom has Levitate. When I attack Rotom with Earthquake, it's like it doesn't have an ability, right? Galarian Weezing's ability is Mold Breaker, but all the time. It's a Mold Breaker, but all the time. So if Galarian Weezing is on the field, no Pokemon has an ability now. That's what it is. So they show in the trailer a Rotom Wash Hydro Pumping an Arcanine, even though there's a Gastrodon on the other side of the field. Normally what would happen is when that Rotom Wash used Hydro Pump, the Gastrodon would absorb the attack with Storm Drain, with its ability, Storm Drain. So it would actually redirect from the Arcanine to the Gastrodon in a normal situation. But because of Weezing just being there, it gets hit. The Arcanine gets hit by the Hydro Pump and dies. But it also works both ways. Because of Weezing just being there, when the Gastrodon uses Earth Power on the levitating Rotom, it gets hit. So it's literally Mold Breaker, but for everybody. It's like a spread Mold Breaker. It's not just when the Weezing attacks a Pokemon like Mold Breaker does. It's just a Mold Breaker for everyone. Nobody's ability matters now. I can hit you no matter what. Your ability is void. You don't have an ability anymore. And that is crazy because you can just switch this thing in and the entire pace of the game can change immediately. You have Unaware. Oh, my stat boosts aren't working on you. Now you have no ability. Now my stat boosts are a thing. It's crazy. I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but it is different and that's all we need sometimes. Some difference, some variation. That's literally all we can ask for a lot of the times. And I'm actually happy to see abilities like this because some abilities are dumb, okay, quite frankly, and you need to be able to do something about them. The next thing they showed was a new held item called Room Service. Now this is pretty nice. Trick Room is very, very powerful in VGC. But the thing about this item is that it will allow more Pokemon to be viable in Trick Room because a lot of Pokemon are not slow enough. There's a lot of Pokemon that are very, very slow, but in Trick Room, the slow Pokemon goes first. So with this item, Pokemon that are kind of slow but not slow enough to thrive in Trick Room, they'll be able to actually do some things, which is nice, which is why they show a Rhyperior. Rhyperior is not the slowest Pokemon in the world. It's pretty slow. It's not fast, but it's not slow enough. It's way faster than the actual slow Pokemon that thrive in Trick Room. So this item right here will allow Pokemon that are on that cusp to get even slower when Trick Room is active. Therefore, they can actually put in a lot of work. They can always go first. They can do some damage without dying to the even slower Pokemon that exist. Obviously, these even slower Pokemon that exist can run this item too, but at least they'll have to sacrifice something for it. They won't have a held item anymore. Now, this new item is actually pretty interesting. It's called the Eject Pack. I'm sure it's a one-time use thing, just like the room service item is. Eject Pack actually switches you out when you lower your stats. This is going to be great for Pokemon that use moves like Leaf Storm, Draco Meteor, things like that. Be Create, whatever we want to talk about. There's a lot of moves that you hit somebody with that can lower your stats. Close Combat, whatever you want. I'd probably only reserve this item for things like Draco Meteor and Leaf Storm. Just because if I'm using a move like that, those Pokemon are normally going to want to switch out and get their attack stat back up at some point. If we are actually able to choose the Pokemon we switch into with this item, that'd be pretty nice. I actually like that quite a bit. It just mixes the game up, man. You don't know somebody's gonna be holding this item. I can go for a very strong move and switch out right afterwards. That's very, very nice. I think this is gonna be really good on strong dragon types that use Draco Meteor. Maybe things that have Leaf Storm, but you don't really see Leaf Storm on things that aren't superior nowadays, honestly. So Draco Meteor is probably the most used move that this applies to, I bet. So get ready for your Eject Pack Latioses and Latioses and Garchomps or whatever else uses this item. They also showed off a new move called Breaking Swipe. This move seems pretty good in VGC just because it actually hits both Pokemon on the other side of the field as well as lowering their attack stat. So you can actually get a pretty nice debuff on your opponent's side if you run this move on something. And I don't think we need to talk too much about it. It's pretty self-explanatory. It just lowers both of the opponent's attacking stats. I'm not quite sure how much damage it does. They didn't really show that. I doubt it's strong if it does what it does. It'd be dumb if it was a strong move that also lowered their attack stat. That'd be dumb. So I'm assuming like base 40, maybe 60 tops, something like that. And then next they showed Corviknight's hidden ability, Mirror Armor. Now this ability is going to be amazing in VGC. If a stat drop occurs on Corviknight when it has this ability, it will instead be reflected. So Intimidate, you're gonna intimidate yourself. That last move we just talked about, you're gonna hit yourself and you're not gonna hit yourself, excuse me. You're gonna hit Corviknight, but then your attack is gonna drop. This is not the craziest ability, but it can be useful in lead situations, I believe. Just because you see that Landorus on the other side of the field, you just lead with Corviknight, and he intimidates himself. You don't intimidate yourself. You can still attack with your strong attacks. I think this is obviously a much better ability than Pressure. I don't know what Corviknight's other ability was if it had one, but I can assume most Corviknights will run this instead. Now the last thing they showed, which is pretty significant depending on how Dynamax works, is that Dynamax Pokemon do not flinch. And that's great for VGC because there's so much flinching everywhere. Rock Slide is constantly spammed. Fake Out is on every other Pokemon that you see. Being able to Dynamax through that kind of stuff is actually a really, really nice option if you ask me, just because that stuff is so common. People run Fake Out on damn near every lead Pokemon. Randomly flinching from Rock Slide has always been really dumb to me just because you can hit both Pokemon. Fake Out, not so much. Fake Out does flinch every time. I think that's the problem with Pokemon that I have the most. The randomness of everything. If everything happened when I knew it was going to happen, when it should happen, I wouldn't have a problem. But randomly flinching to something is kind of lame. But we kind of accept it just because Pokemon is Pokemon. This is what it's been this way for years. But fake out flinching every time is pretty nice. You can only use it once. It flinches. You know you're going to flinch. That's fine. I can Dynamax through that. And now you can't attack me with your other Pokemon for free. Or your other Pokemon doesn't get to set up for free. Or whatever your game plan was. So that's pretty cool. I do like that. Hopefully it's not too broken. Hopefully flinching doesn't just become phased out. I doubt it will because flinching is always really, really strong. Rock Slide's still gonna be a very common move. So is Fake Out. I don't play too much VGC, but I do understand it. I do understand it. So hopefully we see things getting mixed up a little bit more now with all this new stuff in the game. Next, they actually did go to showcase some more of the max moves, and they did something a little different here. Now in Gen 7, Z moves were a thing, okay? And they were very, very powerful, over-centralizing if you ask me, because every Pokemon could run Z moves, and literally any Pokemon could just have a fucking nuke that killed anything at any time. And you didn't know which one had it, and it was very, very frustrating sometimes. But they did something kind of similar here, but not really. They made it a little better. Now I'll explain what I mean. One of these screenshots says that a max move can actually damage a protecting opponent, okay? And that is very, very strong. That was one of the things that I didn't like about Z moves. Going through Protect, that's insane. Protect is not as good just because Z moves exist. Now here it says that max moves can go through Protect, but if you are also Dynamaxed, you can use Max Protect, which will actually fully protect you from Z moves. Or sorry, from Dynamax moves or Max moves, whatever the hell they're called. So that's pretty good. At least there's an option to protect yourselves from these moves. If you see a Pokemon Dynamax and then you Dynamax and use Max Protect, their Max move won't hurt you. So you can do something about it. Something, anything. Whatever it is, you can do something about it. But anyways, let's go through the max moves that they did show. The first move they show on the Pokemon website is Max Geyser. They show a Melodic using Max Geyser. And it says the water type max move, Max Geyser. That's super redundant. Holy shit. The water type max move, Max Geyser, will trigger the rain weather condition. So when it uses this very powerful water move, rain is going to start falling from the sky. That's fucking broken. But these moves are supposed to be broken, so I get it. The fighting type max move, Max Knuckle, will increase the attack of all allied Pokemon as well as the user. Holy shit. That's crazy. Why? And then the next screenshot talks about what I just said. Even if an opponent uses a move like Protect, a max move will still blast through it and deal some damage. But then the next screenshot says, all status moves used by a Dynamax Pokemon become Max Guard, which can even protect against other max moves. You need something like that because if that wasn't the case, that would be dumb. Not having an option to protect yourself when these monsters are around is pretty insane, which is why I thought Z moves were a little too much. I think Z moves were fine on their own. They didn't need to be so strong. They didn't need to go through Protect. I understand why they went through Protect, because they don't want somebody to use this nuke and then it just not matter at all. They wanted it to do something no matter what, which is cool and all. But still, it's kind of crazy. And then there's a little paragraph explaining that you can actually hold items while Dynamaxing. So really no need to explain that. It's pretty obvious what they're trying to say here. You can Dynamax whenever you want, no matter what. You can always hold an item and still Dynamax. You don't have to hold a specific item to Dynamax. All you have to do is have the key item that allows you to do it. And it seems like items that actually boost your attacking power will still carry over to when you're Dynamax. So it seems like you can actually run things like Choice Specs Dynamax Rotom or something, or Choice Band Dynamax Machamp, or maybe a Life Orb or something like that. It says that it actually carries over, so that's pretty clean, actually. I didn't think that would be the case. So now I have Mega Pokemon with held items and Z moves all in one. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the Battle Stadium. They actually added something to Pokemon that is similar to, I'd say, Pokemon Showdown's online ladder. They also bring back cool features like rental teams. Not quite sure how that's going to work, but I guess we'll find out by reading this excerpt on Pokemon.com. So the first thing is about ranked battles. I think that's really cool that they're actually doing this time, because they did have rankings before, but it wasn't real rankings, you know. It's kind of just stuff that they, you know, your points go up, but you can't really see everybody else's ranking. You don't actually have a special title either when you actually reach a certain point like you do in this right here that I'm looking at. So this is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and learn about this. In ranked battles, you can take on Pokemon trainers from across the globe with a battle team you trained up in an attempt to become the most powerful trainer in the world. As the name implies, you will have a rank in ranked battles that indicates how strong you are as a trainer. Your rank will change depending on the results of your battles. You'll face trainers of a similar rank, so your battles are sure to be challenging. So, you always battle trainers of a similar rank. And I saw that there's a tier list of actual rankings. There's a beginner tier, a Pokeball tier, Great Ball tier, Ultra Ball tier, and Master Ball tier. And you have to be pretty high ranked to be Master Ball tier. So you already know we're gonna reach it, all right? But when are we gonna reach it? You know what I'm saying? And it actually seems that you get rewards for meeting certain criteria, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of like, what are those things called on Xbox? Achievements, except you actually get stuff for getting those achievements. In-game items, which is pretty clean. Okay, I'm not mad at that. Now, hopefully these items aren't too hard to get outside of that. But if they are hard to get, then this is actually incentivizing. It's incentivizing me to actually complete these achievements, right? If I can only get this stuff by doing these achievements. Okay. Each rank in ranked battles belongs to a specific tier. The top tier is where trainers will take part in intense ranked battles, with everyone aiming to become the best in the world. You can check your own ranking in the battle stadium when you're competing in the highest ranks. And check out the smartphone version of Pokemon Home if you want to see how all participants of a competition placed or the rankings of the Pokemon used. In the ranked battles, your rank will go down a certain amount at the end of each season before being carried over to a new season. Okay, that makes sense. So when they switch seasons, you decay a little bit. You're not the top of the top when you switch seasons, which makes sense because you have to actually get accustomed to the new season. In casual battles, you can enjoy Pokemon battles without worrying about who wins and who loses. Another noteworthy aspect of casual battles is that you can use certain legendary Pokemon and mythical Pokemon. Oh my god, okay, so this is just no rules that are not eligible for ranked battles. About battle rules. There are two formats for battles in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Players can take part in the single battle and double battle formats. You can choose from these two battle formats for ranked battles and casual battles too. Okay, but are the single battles small gone rules? You know they're not. So I'm just gonna do double battles. I think VGC is the wave now. I don't know if single battles are gonna be what I do anymore, just because there's no point. Like, can we really think about this? I've been saying this for years, right? What is the point of doing single battles? Who has ever made money for winning a single battle in their lives? Now, I upload YouTube videos, so that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about competitions, okay? What is the point of doing single battles when Pokemon doesn't even recognize that as the official format? Why are we not all playing VGC? Now, obviously, single battles are fun. There's a very deep, complex game within single battles. But VGC is right there. We should all be playing VGC. We're not actually making any progress from playing single battles if we really think about this. Now, I love single battles as much as the next guy. I've been doing it for the last 10 years, literally, okay? I'm just saying we should be playing VGC. And I think I'm going to play a lot more VGC this year, just because if I actually do want to go to an actual competition and compete, I have no choice. Because there's no single battle competition I can pull up to in real life. That's all I'm trying to say. So because of that, I'm going to play way more VGC. I'm actually going to try to compete this year if I actually end up liking this format. It's unfortunate that there's no singles ladder, but single battling is just not convenient. I've had 200 turn battles before just because my opponent decided to bring stall. Like, they can't regulate that. There's no way any tournament organizer can prevent that from happening, because people can bring what they want that are, you know, as long as they're within the rules, they can bring whatever they want. Double battles actually have timers, and it's way harder to stall in a double battle because there's two Pokemon on the field at the same time. I get it. But because of that, I really think Pokemon itself should not promote single battles so hard. The entire game is single battles. Of course people are going to play single battles. That's what the game is. the entire game from top to bottom is single battles. It's just weird to me that the entire game is single battles, but then the actual competitive format is double. Like, it's weird. It is weird. It's weird. But anyways, moving on. Online competitions. There are 2 categories of online competitions you can participate in for some fun battling. Official competitions and friendly competitions. In official competitions, you take part in special battles with a variety of different rules and restrictions in order to see where you place among participants. Certain competitions may even grant you the chance to participate in the Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield World Championship. What? What? So what if my opponent disconnects on me? Do I get punished? I hope I don't get punished. So if you do well in these online competitions, you can go to Pokemon Worlds? What the fuck? Yo, it's 2019. I fuck with that. That's kind of clean, bro. Give these people opportunity. Not everybody can travel. So if I'm the nicest in the world and I don't have a car or the nearest competition too far away from me and I don't have any money, I can just play online, clap some cheeks, and still pull up. I fuck with that. Let's go, Pokemon. Good shit. Round of applause for Pokemon. They did something right for the first time in their goddamn lives. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Friendly competitions. In friendly competitions, you can join competitions hosted by other players, but you're also able to host a competition. What? We can host our own lobbies? Oh, shit. Wait. Is it a tournament or is it just a single battle? Like, is it a battle against one person? Or is it an actual tournament? It seems like it's an actual tournament, people. Oh my god, bro, I've been waiting for that. I can host an actual tournament online. Let's go. That's kind of clean. Hold on, that's kind of clean. We might be in there. We might be in there. Now, I know I talk a lot of shit about Pokemon, okay? Because it can be better. That's the only reason I do it. Because it can be better, and it should be better at this point. I'm 28. I've been playing Pokemon since I was 10. It should be better. But they are making improvements in a lot of places, and I'm not mad at that. Improvement is improvement, baby. Even though they take 1 step forward and 2 steps back, improvement is still improvement, man. You know what I'm saying? They might have taken 3 steps forward and 2 steps back this time. So they 1 step ahead. Last but not least, it seems that you can actually rent teams. Now, how does this work? Can I actually rent an actual team? Because before it seemed like you can only rent bootleg ass teams, but can I actually rent somebody's actual team that they used? For real? Can I actually put that on my game? Do I have to make Pokemon from scratch to battle? Can I use actual competitive, competent teams? Is that a thing? Let's see. Rental teams let you borrow battle teams easily by inputting IDs available online. You can use these rented battle teams in various different battles. You'll also be able to make your own battle teams public to Pokemon trainers all over the world. Okay, I think they had something like that in Sun and Moon as well. I don't really remember how it worked. But I guess we'll see. Because I don't think that was the best way to do that last time, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But I guess we'll see. Anyways, I think that's about it, man. I'm not mad at what I saw today at all. I think we got a lot of good news. I think that this is actually a great thing that's happening. I'm not mad at it, really not. So hopefully we'll see where they take this. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Also, please buy my shirts. I'm over here trying to sell Pokemon Cypher 2019 merch so that I have enough money to shoot the music video for Pokemon Cypher 2019. I really need your help. If you could get a shirt, a hoodie, a long sleeve, whatever you want, a sticker, a mug, a cell phone case, whatever, it doesn't matter. Get something, please. Anyways, I'm out of here. Goodbye.